beautiful beings, how are you today? In this video, we are going to talk about how to make a vision and manifestation board. But of course, I'm going to pull an oracle card for you today. Today, we have the Earth Magical Oracle deck. Here are your cards. Do me a favor, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, and breathe out. Focus on these cards. And whenever you see this video, this card is meant to be for you. As usual, I am going to cut my deck in half. And this is your card for today. Ocean, ebb and flow. And this is your message for today. An important aspect in the art of living is to move with the ebb and flow of your emotions, joining their fluidity but not being captured by it. It is also not necessary to become obsessed with any particular fluctuation in mood or feeling. They are simply emotions, often activated in ways that are completely beyond your understanding. When you are neither minimize nor exaggerate the intensity and importance of your emotions, then you have a greater sense when and how to express them. You have been fighting the ebb and flow of your own feelings, denying your hurt, anger, or sorrow by either attaching yourself to one or the other and nursing it as if it was a nursing child, or else smoothing your emotions with more practiced responses that deny and hide what is going on beneath the surface of your expression. When you attempt to constrict yourself from experiencing your emotions, it is much like trying to stem the tides that grow more forceful with every attempt humans make to control them. Allow yourself to swim with these variations rather than resisting them. And as usual, I am sending you a lot of luck in your spiritual journey. So yes, today we are going to talk about how to make a vision/manifestation board, whatever you love to call it. I made one last year for 2021. I'm not sure if I'm gonna make one for 2022, not just yet. I haven't decided. But of course, whether you're seeing this now or whenever you're seeing this, currently it's December, it doesn't matter when you make it, it's all up to you. So if you haven't seen my latest video, I talk about my 2021 vision/manifestation board and how that was extremely kind of accurate and helpful for me, and it's pretty much a success story. So that's why I always recommend for people just to do a vision board, whether it's going to be a yearly one or it's going to be a lifetime vision board. So if you don't know what a vision board or a manifestation board is, it's basically a collage of photos, words, quotes, all put together on a board to help you feel inspired and motivated. It's there to help you be reminded of your goals and aspirations and dreams and all the things that you would want now or in the future. So basically, the idea is to put all of those things together on a board, put them up on a wall, and to acknowledge that board every single day. When you wake up, you look at it, you be reminded of your goals and aspirations, and basically you feel inspired because those are the things that you want. Now, if you are familiar with my story and if you've watched my last video about, talking about my vision board, I was unable to put it up for various reasons, and so I had to stuff it in between my dresser and my wall. Now, since it was stuffed in between my dresser and my wall, I was unable to view it every single day. I completely forgot about it, if I'm being honest. But when I pulled it out and I looked at it and I reflect what happened this year for 2021, I was amazed that I did practically 99% of the things that I had put on the board. So if you're not going to put it up, just doing it and doing the practice and being aware of what you're putting on the board subconsciously, your subconscious would know. Your subconscious will remember. And following your intuition, you'll be pretty amazed that you have followed your intuition quite closely to the things that you put on the board. And if it wasn't specifically something that I put specific on the board. It was something better than what I put on the board, which is a blessing. So let's get into making your vision/manifestation board. I keep on saying bar. So the first question you want to ask yourself is if you're actually making a yearly vision board, manifestation board, or you're making a lifetime. This is really important because if you're making a yearly vision board, you kind of want to be aware of exactly what you put on there and be more reasonable and realistic, where in your lifetime, you have your whole lifetime to complete those goals. So you could put like bigger things on there, like house and a car or something, anything. So yeah, that's the first question to ask, whether you want to do a yearly or a lifetime vision board. I would also like to say that if you're going to do a yearly vision board like I do, it's nice to update it yearly. Obviously, sometimes there are things that are not going to be completed within the year. That's what happened to me. I put down a house, and then I put down my yearly income, which was obviously I'm not making that type of money, but those are long-term goals, and it's okay to mix it up with your yearly, to keep those bigger things in mind. So if you're gonna pick the yearly board, keep in mind that you should update it every year, because your point is that you want to get those goals, those aspirations within that year. So once you establish whether you're going to have a yearly or a lifetime board, the next thing you have to brainstorm is your main topics, things that you want to focus on. So my main topics for my board was photography, it was health, it was a house, it was travel. I can actually show you. So this is my board right here. As you can see, the main topics are on top of what I am going to put below. So photography is right there. Then we have spirituality. We also have investments on the side, my yearly income. We have a house, which is one of the more bigger goals. We have traveling here. We have influencer. Then going up, we have a lot about health, right? Then I have my title on top. So once you establish your categories, which mine was health, spirituality, house, health, yoga, spiritual, influencer, and traveling, right? Once you establish your main topics, things you want to focus on for your lifetime or your yearly vision board, then you have to start thinking about subcategories, right? So for photography, I thought about portraits, right? So I don't have the word portrait on here, but it's represented in my self-portraits on top. And then spirituality, what are some things that you think about spirituality? Subcategories you think of, maybe self-love and yoga, right? So a house, what are your subcategories for that? Travel, subcategories. And you just break those things down. And the reason why I tell you to write the subcategories is because maybe sometimes you want to include the words for these subcategories onto your board, or you want to find pictures, photos that represents those subcategories and the main topic for your board. So if we go down, a good example is if we go down to travel, right? I have travel here, obviously, but one of my subcategories is hiking, right? So I want to do hiking. If we go into spiritual and yoga influencer, one of my subcategories was YouTube and Instagram. And it goes on and on for subcategories for health right up here. It was drinking water and being fit. Those are subcategories for health. Healing. So once you find out your main topics and your subcategories, then you can start searching for photos. For me, I personally went on the internet because it's so much easier, and I searched up the main topics and I went onto Google and find photos. And I also searched up my subcategory topics as well and found photos for those as well. So you would want to pick photos for your main topics that kind of more represent you, right? So I have a girl right here with curly hair because I have curly hair. I have, for my photography section, included my own photography. Things that fit your aesthetic. For my house, I picked a photo that represented kind of more exactly what I want my future house to represent. You want things to be more accurately as possible because you want to envision those things. So you have to really take your time and search for these photos on the internet. Originally, vision boards, you usually take a magazine paper and you go and search through all the magazines, stacks and stacks of magazine, and you cut out photos from the magazine and you put it on the board. Personally, for me, I just like looking on the internet, one, because it's so much easier, and two, this helps me fit more of my aesthetic and exactly what I'm looking for. Where if you were to cut from a magazine, yes, you are saving paper. I love that. You still can do that, obviously, but it would be more difficult to find the exact things that you are looking for. At the same time that you're looking for photos, you can also look for quotes. So specifically for my photography quote, I put in photography quotes, right? And I picked the quote that represented exactly what I was going for. So it says photography is the story I failed to put into words, because that's exactly how I feel. So that's something that I put on the board. Same thing with health. It says to keep the body in good health is a duty. Otherwise, we shall not be able to keep our mind strong and clear. I truly believe that. So that's why I put it on the board. It's something to remember. Hey, let me work on my health because, what this quote is saying is exactly how I feel. So take your time with it. This is the longest part of your step, which is finding the photos, sourcing them, making sure you pick photos that you like, and take your time, enjoy yourself. It doesn't have to be done in one day. This could be a week project. So once you got all your photos, it's time to print them out if you put them on the internet, if you pick them from the internet, or cut them out from your book. So you print them out, you cut it, and then you put everything into piles in the categories that they're supposed to be in, right? So the next step you want to do after that is you want to print out your main topics and some subcategories that you want to include on your board. So I did this by using Google Docs, and I basically typed down photography, I highlighted it, I personally did it in all caps and no script or anything, and I colored it in a certain way. It doesn't matter, to me, the colors mean nothing, but it can mean something for you. So that is up to your creative discretion on whether you want to have it the colors mean something or the font different. That's totally up to you. For me, I also kept in mind that I wanted to put a heading on the board. So it says 2021 vision board, right? So I printed that out and I put that on the board as well, just to give my board a more title. If you're doing a lifetime vision board, you could just put vision board, totally up to you. You could also just leave your categories and your subcategories black. It's totally up to you. It's up to your aesthetic, what you want to do. So for some idea, I included like the words beautiful, and I included in stocks, and if you could see, it says fit right here. So any words that would remind you of spark any remembrance, you would put on the board. Now, you don't have to do anything strictly like on the computer. I did because I think my handwriting, when it gets to this size, will look terrible. But if you want to, you can handwrite all of this and make it like all fancy and different colors and beautiful. It doesn't have to be all on computer. You can maybe even draw the photos as well. Make it exactly how you want it to be. It's your vision board. So once you have everything printed out, you would want to grab whatever you're posting those photos on and lay it out. So I used a big poster board. from Dollar Tree. But you can use something way smaller than this. I just liked it big because I was able to see it like from my bed, so I can look at it as soon as I wake up. It's nice and big. But this, you could have it literally the size of a regular construction paper. It's totally up to you. You just have to be aware when you are printing out the photos and writing the words that it's small enough to fit that paper, whatever size you're going for. So this part is my favorite part, which is once you have whatever you're going to paste the photos on laid out, you are going to start designing your board. So do not go right away gluing in your photos, and I'll tell you why in just a moment. So you would want to mess around with the spacing and figure out where you want to put the photos. Mine is pretty even spacing. There's a lot of I wanted it sideways like this. I wanted all across like that. I wanted this in the center. So I was able to do that without pasting it, right? And the reason why you don't want to paste it is because maybe you don't end up liking where you put this. So when I first put this on, I think I had put it on the bottom. I didn't like it. It didn't feel right. So then I put it in the center. So you just mess around until you get the exact way that you love it, right? And then, no, you do not glue it yet. Take your phone, take anything that you can to take photos with, and take a photo of the board. The reason why I tell you this is because once you have it all laid out, you love it so much, then you start gluing. Sometimes you forget where you put things, right? So it's good to have a photo reference right next to you so you can look back saying, oh, right, I put this right here, and I could put it exactly where, and you could put it exactly where you had it before. So you can know exactly how your board is going to come out, and you will be happy with it. So at this point, you start gluing, and once you finish gluing, you have a completed board. Now, if there's some spaces, like I have some leaves up here and I have some embellishments on top, if you wanted to make it more prettier, you can add those leaves and embellishments on top. And I also went in and traced the square of my main headings to have it more bold looking so I can see it further away. You see how it's marked in with marker right there? So you can continue adding some cute designs. In the bottom, I added some travel washi tape that I had. And yeah, you do the finishing touches, makes it look so put together and so beautiful. And there you have a completed board. And once you finish with your board, again, it doesn't have to be this big, you can put it up on a wall where you'll see it every day. I tried to once again and I couldn't, so I was able to put it on the side. But you're supposed to have it hung up so you could wake up and look at it and be aware of your goals and remember your goals, be motivated and inspired by this, because these are the things that you want and you desire. I would like to say, be patient with yourself. Always be patient with yourself. Don't get discouraged if you're unable to do something that will progress any of your goals. That's okay. Follow your intuition, follow your heart, follow your mind, and listen to yourself, because sometimes you're not able to do the things that you want to do every day. And the important thing too is not to get discouraged. So this board is supposed to help you, motivate you, inspire you, not to discourage you in any type of way. And if you're doing a yearly board and you notice it's coming towards the end of the year, you have a whole other year to complete your goals. You have a lifetime. So don't get discouraged, and it's totally fine if you're unable to do certain goals that you had set in mind. And also sometimes things change. Maybe you put this at the beginning of the year, and then towards the end of the year, that's not something that you're into anymore, and that's totally fine. So there you have it. You have your completed vision board. I hope you love it so much. I hope you took your time with it, and I hope that these steps helped you to kind of make it less stressful, because I know how it is, because I did it on my own, how stressful it could be without these steps. So I hope somehow these steps made it less stressful for you. As always, I am wishing you amazing luck on your journey. Your life is beautiful. I am so happy for you already, even taking the step to watch this video and making a vision board of your own. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. I love you guys so much. I am sending you a lot of light and love as usual. I'll see you later. Thank you.